Here is my recap on Dexter Season 6, Episode 12. This episode is entitled, This is the Way the World Ends. Now, this is kind of an anticlimactic ending to a season, except for the very final scene. So in this episode, we have the police department is trying to find Travis. He is expected to do his final kill. There's another little storyline I want to talk about first, and that is with Quinn and with Batista. Quinn and Batista. Batista tells Quinn, "I can't trust you. I'm going to be having you transferred out of there." Quinn then goes to his union reps and says he wants to go into alcohol treatment for alcoholism, and that'll keep him from both being fired and transferred. And he tells Quinn, I want to stay on. This is where I want to be. And he said, I really wish you would have put this much effort into your police work as you do trying to save your job. And so you can definitely tell that he's going to be around, but he's trying to get help for what happened. We've got Travis trying to do the last bit of this here. And what ends up happening is the police department does end up finding out where Travis was staying. He killed a couple, and he was using their house as a place to have refuge for a while. Dexter sees his drawing that he did. The police department does too. And they kind of figure that he's going to be taking over a building and killing somebody at the top, sacrifice of some sort with a lamb or something like that. So they end up, Deborah deploys officers to all of the buildings that are over 400 feet. And Travis does end up being at one of those and ends up killing an officer. And before we even get to this point, he visits Dexter's house and is wearing some of Dexter's clothes. This is after he thinks he's killed Dexter. So he shows up at his house. Batista's sister is there, and he kind of hides in the background, but sees that Dexter has a son and decides that's who he will use as his sacrifice, as the lamb. So he ends up going to where he is at his school. Dexter's son, Harrison, is at school and ends up kidnapping him. And Dexter decides to go after him. So he goes, Dexter figured out what building it was at based off of a drawing that he saw. So he goes there and he does confront Travis, and they end up getting into a scuffle in the end. And Dexter does take him and goes to a kill area that he put at that old church building that Travis and Geller, which was just Travis to begin with, but where Geller's body was. And he ends up getting ready to kill him there. Now, at the same time, we have Deborah visiting her shrink right before this scene, and she admits to her shrink that she has feelings for her brother. They actually did talk to each other in this episode, and there was a scene where Deborah says, I love you, and he said, I love you back, which he's never done before. So she feels like there could be more there. And the very final scene of this episode is Dexter talking to Travis. He's on the kill table. And just as he goes and stabs him right through the heart, that's when Deborah walks in. And Dexter turns around shocked. So his sister now saw him kill somebody. And that's where we're going to begin season 7, is the aftermath of her finding out who Dexter actually is. So a little bit of a twist at the end of the season. A little anticlimactic for a final episode. The rest of it seemed a little boring. It's a pretty boring season, I think, compared to the other ones. And I don't remember anything about the next season at all. And I do remember a little bit about season 8. So season 8 was the least, it was just a goofy season. It didn't fit with the rest. Some of the decisions that were made by the characters and how quickly it ends and what happens was definitely it was just an interesting way to end the series. But I don't remember anything about season 7. So we're going to see where that leads us next. My next video is going to be my overall feelings on the season. You can probably guess where those are going to land. And then I will start in on season 7. So I will have all of this done here shortly. I do appreciate you sticking around. Hopefully these recaps are helpful. I will see you guys on the next video.